As you can see, Learning Life is in a new home from our background, and we're going to be seeing this space evolve as we just make this feel just more home for us. And thank you for being part of the Learning Life community. Hi, welcome to Learning Life, and today I want to look at review and study. Now, if we look at the definitions in the dictionary, they really sort of seem like the same thing. Study being the application of the mind to the acquisition of knowledge, and review is defined as, the process of going over something in order to commit it to memory. And so people say review, study, they're the same thing. When I am working with students, what I really want to point out is that there is a difference, and I want to set that aside. And this is something as parents you can do to encourage your children as well. So how I view it is that review is something that happens every day, that we're coming home, it's part of our homework. Homework is not done until we've actually reviewed our class notes and gone over the material that was learnt that day. That's going to help it to get from the short-term memory into the longer-term memory. And then study is that actual focused time when you're really sitting down before a test or a quiz to work out what it is that you need to know. And a great way to start is, previous tests or assessments that you've had, how well have you done in them? Because that'll give you an idea of what you don't know. Too often in our study times, we sort of sit with the familiar and the comfortable, which is the material that we know, and we'll go over that because that makes it feel good, when really we need to be focusing first on the material that we don't know. So parents, what are some things that we can do to encourage our children with our study habits? And so really the first thing is encouraging them to review every day, to go over their class notes, to make sure that they're just not brushing aside that material, to really take just a few minutes, that's all they need to do, a few minutes to go over those class notes. Also, go over what you know about the subject with your children, because, that actually really might help them have a discussion. Be prepared to ask them questions about what they're learning, to give them an opportunity to be able to speak back to you what it is that they've been learning, so they're not just sitting there and reading. Encourage them to take regular breaks. And I'm not meaning study for 5 minutes, take a 15-minute break, but really, good 30 minutes of study and then take a quick break. That's what's going to refresh our minds. And as parents, you need to be looking and making sure that they are using their time wisely, that they're not getting study fatigue. Because yes, we can sit there for hours and really not take anything in after that first 30 minutes because our brain is dead. Really, that's sort of what happens. Our mind wanders, we're really not taking in. So those regular breaks are a good refresh and a good reset. Encourage, encourage, encourage. So many of our children, even ourselves, we procrastinate and leave things until the last minute. So encourage your children to be setting a plan of their study and not leave it to the last minute, because that's when we're not going to be doing our best learning. It's going to become stressful and panic-induced, and we're really not going to get the amount of time that we need to take in everything that we need to learn. Help them set aside a study time, and they'll actually have a plan. And with that, I mean, how long are you going to be studying something, and what exactly are you going to be studying? Not just this chapter, or, I'm going to study history, but really to focus the areas that you need for that test, the things that you really need to know. A plan is really important when it comes to our study times. So to just recap, in my mind, review is what we're doing every day. It's just to help that short-term memory get into the long-term memory, reading over our class notes. It's part of homework. But study is the focused amount of time that we're really sitting down to look at what we need to know for tests and assessments and exams. And just be a part of that. I really just encourage as our parents to really be engaged in the learning for our children. And one of the ways to do that is through study. Now, my question for you, and I would love to get the answers, is what was effective for you when it came to study? What was something that really helped you in your learning? I love games, not just because they often really have an educational aspect to it, because they're just fun. You can have them, friends and family around, and just play games. Now, a game that I have loved for years, a game that I grew up calling because that's what we called it in Australia, coming here to the States, finding out it's Uno, who knew the way that we pronounce things? But Uno is a fantastic game. They say ages 7 and up, but even younger children can be playing it. Because for our younger ones, we do have like number and color recognition, which is great. We can make it a simple game for them as they are matching the twos or the colors or, those different things. And then for older ones, it's about strategy. It's about being maybe cutthroat and ruthless. We used to do that my last year of high school when we had free periods. Study periods. There would be often a group of about 20 of us just being out there, cutthroat, ruthless, creating our own rules, having fun with it, but we also were, in a way, learning because we were doing our number and our color recognition. So Uno, a great game for all ages, for the family, because we can learn from it, but ultimately we can just have fun. Thank you for watching today. I hope that you like it. Remember, give us a thumbs up, leave comments, send me vlog topics you'd like me to cover, and really just spread the word about learning life. Thank you so much for being part of our community.